Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I am your host, the Housecoat Gamer. Today we are taking a look at a legend, a true legend, the Constitution class. The actual Constitution class, not the one from the Jar Jar movies or that abomination from STD. This is the ship designed by Matt Jeffries himself. And fitting that we start with the Cage version. Arguably the first and best version of this vessel. Okay, it's not the best, but it is the first. We see the ship in the Cage, and the early half of TOS, before it gets replaced and upgraded by you all know her, you all love her. Unless you're new to the series, in which case I pity you. This is the ship that made Star Trek a legend. A design that just screams, God, every angle is sexy. We saw this ship for almost 2.5 years before it was tragically canceled. Tragically, because people are idiots. But we nearly had a revival. Other than the animated series, which is basically just this ship. But in 1977, we nearly had a legend reborn. Everyone, meet the Phase 2 Constitution. With the proper deflector dish. This is the legendary Constitution Light Cruiser, though I would have just called it a cruiser. Of course, my one problem with the design is that it has only one torpedo launcher when the concept art and the model itself had two in the neck, just like the refit Connie. Regardless, I'm very happy that this ship is in the game. Originally, you could only get your hands on a facsimile of this vessel by kit bashing it with, well, might as well show you. That, and that. It's passable, but I'm not exactly happy with it. This is better. Though I would be happy if we had two launchers in the neck. But Phase 2 was cancelled, perhaps fortunately. Let's be honest, it would have ended painfully. It also would have been the end of Star Trek as we know it. In fact, it might have never gotten back on its feet if Phase 2 went past. But we have to be thankful for the cancellation of Phase 2, even if it went straight to the motion picture. But the motion picture gave us something just as glorious. The Constitution refit, otherwise known as the TMP Connie. Just look at her. Look at her. She's beautiful. Of course, Cryptic wouldn't be Cryptic if they weren't designing new variations of this ship, but honestly, they just can't top the perfection that is the refit Connie. Not a fan of this one. It's like they tried to breed a sovereign with a Connie and... Ugh. Excelsior Constitution bastard child? Ah, yes, the Exeter. The Tier 2 version of the ship from the Sea Store. Honestly, it's not one of my favorites. We'll stick with the Connie refit for now. I will see you in space. Behold, the Constitution in her natural environment. This is obviously the legendary version of the Constitution. And my favorite. It may have the Miracle Worker specialization, but the temporal version has 5 forward weapon slots. I prefer 4x4. And it's perfect. I know I keep saying it, but the Constitution class is, especially the refit, is perfect. Especially the legendary. Let's put it this way. Get rid of the ionized gas sensor and the ominous device, and put in a set of proper weapons, including 5 tactical consoles to boost your energy weapon damage to beyond safe limits, and you are basically unstoppable. Let us be clear. This is a cruiser with the firepower of an escort. That should scare you. A cruiser with escort level firepower. If this thing couldn't mount dual cannons, well, it would almost be unfair if it could. Now, I don't have an example of a temporal light cruiser to show you, but do I need to? I obviously consider the legendaries to be the best. And they are. And I don't think there's any better than the Constitution class. Unfortunately, that's going to get challenged when I pull out the STD legendary. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.